They just want to do that name justice.
Indeed they will, and they would need to prove that they deserve it all. They already showed that before that they can be the top 2, but if right now, at this very stage, they will end up falling and not qualifying for the APAC LAN, they will be hurting a little bit.
So this is looking pretty standard so far. Last time these guys played it against each other on Bank, Hibana was banned by Wildcard. Same for Jackal on the Jackals always gets banned by Oddity. That's just the ban.
Jackal just gets bullied pretty much by Oddity.
Yeah,
at this
Oddity
point.
don't like the Jackal very much, so they're going to ban that out. Maestro is something we see occasionally in Mirror to close it off. So in terms of your heavy site utility in Plant Denial, that's really we're going to be focusing on Echo.
Actually, it just struck me, Dev.
What did?
Echo got banned out on Villa. Derpe is a renowned player for being a fantastic Echo player, even back a while ago when even Joey was part of the roster and Derp was kind of flex/support. And I certainly feel that the fact that Echo was absent from Wildcard's roster was actually hurting quite severely their whole performance on defense.
Well, they've got it now. Hopefully they can do something with it. Wow, okay, so switching off the smoke. So the smoke is something we typically see on that downstairs bomb site, and switching off the smoke and onto that dock, trying to hide that dock and make it look like they're going downstairs. Nice little idea there for August. Oh, Wildcard.
It will take time.
It got me there.
It will take time for everyone to get used to the name Wildcard rather than August. It's been far too long. Probably not 84 years, like all the memes say, but still nonetheless a long while, and finally came. Neofighter on dock, yeah, that's pretty much something that we came to expect, especially on the upstairs defense, just due to the fact that he can hold those very nice intricate angles, but this time no ballistic shield, just a bulletproof camera, actually.
I like that bulletproof cam as well. Can see outside onto the balcony. It'll be reasonably difficult to destroy. You just have to jump inside and hit it. Which, if you're preventing people from entering stock, then that should stay alive for quite some time. It looks like we're actually going to see a very aggressive play from Wildcard outside the stock room, playing into the hallway as well. Trying to destroy as many drones as he can outside. That's Ethan. And he'll get back near to the bomb site.
An interesting overall setup, quite flexible as well for Wildcard's caliber, but as it stands, Oddity are starting to already make their approach. I'm not too sure if they still worry about the position of the Echo, and as it stands, the drone so far not bringing enough of the information. Vaz finally does spot that bulletproof camera, so we'll be attempting to get rid of it. Just can't seem to connect the shots just yet, but all in all, they will be attempting to not overly expose themselves and give too much information, because as it stands right now, Oddity could be hurting if that is the case. And very nice. That's a very nicely placed camera as well. They cannot destroy it unless they actually walk into the stock.
So attackers at the moment not sure exactly how they're going to deal with this presence in the hallway. Godlegion's trying to find this angle, but it doesn't quite work. Even if you went prone here, I don't think you'd be able to see the player hiding behind that deployable shield. That said, Oddity are just going to focus primarily on opening up this main wall, and there's no real denial from Wildcard. However, they still have that firm control of the hallway, so they're ready to flank at a moment's notice against Oddity. Joining now into the bomb site. Redolent gathers some information. They'll really rely here on Godlegion to deal some damage from these windows, though.
Yeah, they will need as much of that cover as possible, because so far Wildcard are ready to collapse on pretty much everyone who tries to peek into the site. The flank arounds might be starting to come out. Derpe did take a little bit of that damage, but will be forced to fall back a little bit. And oh, the dock is hurting, and will be trying to get back up, but will be taken down straight away by Neofighter. A little bit of a miscalculation will be costing him his life. And finally, the bulletproof camera will be taken down.
Vaz gets inside stock as well. That's a great bit of positioning. He's going to take out Diesel. No information on that jump in. Bit of a misplay from Wildcard. Neofighter, who was dead, could have been on that camera, but he wasn't. Now a great play from Oddity to get inside, but they do deny that plant here. Wildcard just holding on for another 30 seconds.
Yeah, they only need to play time, and right now Ethan has the perfect position. It is all up to Voss to try to bring this back, but they have no idea about his positioning. Right now, Castle's spot has been completely exposed. It is a 1v1 situation. 17 seconds. Ethan needs to play it very carefully and very intricately if he wants to succeed for his team. 1v1 situation. Vast's position has been revealed, but not Ethan's, and he will be able to win the round in a 1v1 clutch.
Just barely winning that round as well. And it looked so close for Vast. It was definitely nearly possible, especially getting that first pick. Vast really was an impact player that round, being able to sneak inside of stock to eliminate the Echo in the hallway. He was always where Wildcard didn't expect him to be. A little bit of a blunder on Wildcard's side to not be on that information gathering quite as well. I'm really surprised they had no information to see that he was coming from the front side near the end when he took out the castle. Also really surprised that there was no one on the camera inside of stock as well. But nonetheless, Wildcard do claim that round.
Can I also just commend how patient Ethan was? Yeah, Vast went for that pre-fire, but Ethan didn't fire back. He didn't expose his position too early, and that pretty much what allowed him to actually win the round there as well. So there is, I would say, like in regards to the trigger discipline, I would say Wildcard are more prepared, but I mean, overall, so far, Oddity has been proving completely opposite to us and showing that they're the better ones.
Nerves of Steel definitely helped out Ethan in that last situation.
The situation one.
Yeah. So, Wildcard playing downstairs now. It looks like they may well go for a bit of a roam. They're going to have reinforced the hatches in open area that are above open area. They're actually going to use castle barricades here. This isn't something I've seen a ton from Wildcard. We see it from other teams though. Cyclops from Japan are a team that love extending their holds upstairs. They do it really consistently. Now Wildcard going to try it out. Is Oddity going to be ready for it?
Certainly will be a good question here because Diesel is all prepared and ready, albeit he is a smoke, so he's very viable on his in his utility, so he will need to be extra cautious about it. But it seems that Oddity are prompting for a completely opposite choice here and will be planning to go for a top-down clear, which could very much potentially work.
Yeah, they need to clear these roamers. They're going to use their first thermite charge on the hatch above open area. As God Legion starts to make an entry, they're going to drone out open area as well. It looks like so far, Wildcard actually don't have any roamers, which is a bit strange. They invest so much utility upstairs, but they decide not to go for that roam.
I think it's for the reason of the thermite just popping open the hatch right above the admin office, which was their kind of fallback idea. And as it stands, the only probably, well, technically considered roamer is Diesel on that smoke with a shotgun right at the service stairs, which I don't think will be pushed just yet. But the issue for him right now is he needs to be extra patient on the positioning.
Wildcard also do have a drone here just behind Todd from Mozzie, ready to check for what players are pushing these blue stairs. They will have to, as you said, flush out Diesel, but his gas he'll hold on as long as possible. No doubt Diesel's a dead man here, but the question is how much time can he waste and how many bodies can he take with him? Oh, it's a drop down the hatch though. Vast and just going to push on downstairs. Surely Vast finds that one, but there's another player behind the service stairs. Thermite's gone, and Vast finds both of them. It's a good job from Oddity here. They did lose the one player in the process, but that's totally worth it for the 2 picks and the server control.
Certainly is, and seemed like a little bit of a misplay as well from Wildcard, as things are shaping up to be potentially very much positive for Oddity Esports. The grenade from God Legion, unfortunately, will be taking his own life, meaning it is a 3v3 situation. Vinny is already in the vault hallway and will be able to get rid of Ethan, but will only to be traded out by Neofighter.
25 seconds left. Wildcard have 2 players up. A C4 is going to get ripped. It does down one of the players in server. Quick revive's going to happen in no time. 2 players left, have to force down this plant. Both players have been tagged up so heavily, and Derp still has the Echo. Surely he can deny this plant. Todd knows he has to make a play here. He can. Oh my god, what? How did they do that? They just push in both garage and the red hallway, and Oddity take the round that should no way have been theirs.
I mean, at this point, Oddity is just pulling all their odds together and all their strength and mustering all their experience here, because they seem to be even more serious about this than Wildcard, really, because for them, well, even though the pressure is technically on even for them as well here, because they need as many points as possible, Wildcard just seeming to be unable to really respond in any way, shape or form, really.
I was so surprised that Oddity won that round. You could hear in the tone of my voice. I was just thinking, okay, so they're pretty much dead now. They're just going to do what they can, try to go for a peek. I wouldn't have been surprised if the player inside of Red died, but the player inside of Garage as well. I mean, what was happening for Wildcard? There seems to be some serious communications breakdowns here. People not on the cameras that they need to be, people on cameras when they're alive maybe, people not holding these angles that they need to be, just having some presence, having their gun up, ready to take a fight. Because there's no world in which they should have lost what they just lost.
Indeed, and I think it was also as a miscommunication, maybe a miscalculation even, because that C4 did destroy a yokai. So technically, what they could have done, call Derp, who was still alive back then, get him on the Echo Drone, deny that for as long as possible, then rip the C4 and go for it. Because I believe either Neo was still alive and still had a very good position to play from. So it was certainly a miscommunication, I feel, from the side of WC.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused as well what Wildcard stood up is, because they've reinforced some of the hatches above open area, but they've also reinforced the hatches in open area, and their smoke gets taken out right at the start of the round. Like, what am I watching? Did Diesel go for a spawn peek? Was he rotating back to site? Did Vast get a lucky pre-fire? I don't know what I'm watching. Wildcard look like a mess right now.
They certainly are.
Like, they don't have these hatches open. They've set up to hold open area, and they don't have the hatches open going downstairs.
And for the player that is Diesel, for the player of his caliber, this is not working out at all whatsoever. Usually we're so used to see that and keep praising him, the next smoke god of ANZ. All of a sudden he just does that type of stuff and just ends up dying in the literal first 10 seconds. How, why, and again, why?
So some good information being denied here. They're droning that. Yeah, you can take that one out. That's not yours. So they destroy some more information gathering of Wildcard. Oddity are in a pretty good spot. They've got the control of open area now. Control the whole map, in fact, except for that bottom floor. They're just going to start working their way down, taking out these hatches onto site. It looks like the Cade has left those blue stairs. He's going to try to play aggressive, but there's a player in server ready to catch him off guard. Ethan dies, and that's his C4 gone along with him.
It is certainly the case, as the TCSG gone, the Nitro Cell gone, ACOG gone, and now the wall is gone as well. And things are looking quite grim, unfortunately, for Wildcard. As much as people would love to see them perform very well, things are very much uncoordinated from what was to be considered a top dog team.
This Echo Drone may well be able to make the difference here. God Legion has a great nade onto Neofighter, and there's an aggressive push down the main stairs for God Legion. He finds all of them, and it's a flawless round for Oddity. What a great push from start to finish.
Absolutely amazing performance so far from Oddity Esports, just showing that they're fully coordinated, they're fully committed, they're getting those 6 points for themselves. And if they do, like you mentioned, they will be propelling themselves up in the first place as well.
And Oddity are starting to get a really good read on Wildcard right now. The mistakes that Wildcard are making, they're repeated. People aren't on the cameras that they need to be. People are getting on cameras when they're exposed positions. They're not safe. And Oddity are having players who are ready to just push in and take out the Wildcard players who are unawares and not ready for these gunfights. On top of that, obviously Diesel got picked right at the start. We don't know exactly what's happening, but I think it's a pretty safe guess that Wildcard's comms right now are an absolute mess, and that is causing all of these issues for them at the moment.
Certainly seems like it, Dev. Certainly seems like it. As I'm just lost for words, really, because I probably will be even there to say that both of us were going into this matchup thinking, yeah, well, Wildcard would at least take a single map and then a draw. Yeah, that's what our predictions even on CSGG said.
Yeah, I feel like we've talked about how a lot of teams get picked up by organizations that don't perform that well. And it's not like if Wildcard don't perform well here, or let's say they don't make APAC land, that's not like to say, oh, they're hugely disappointed their org and they'll get dropped. No, none of that.
No, they won't get dropped.
These guys are being picked up for the long term, and they will no doubt, they are strong performing players who will make good in the long term for their organization and do them proud and have good results in the long term. For now, look, there are some mishaps that have happened so far, and well, hopefully Wildcard have more to show for us in this match. And
I see that you are also struggling trying to find the right description for what is happening currently, because it is an upsetting performance from Wildcard so far.
But you can't let that get to you. If you're on Wildcard, sometimes you lose them. But there's still time to bounce back. Derpe's going to start that an aggressive peak. Not sure exactly where that was, but he does take out that one player. Derpe practically lives on top of this conference table. He loves playing here with this ACOG as well of the Echo.
Yeah, Echo has been nearly his feeling like an extension of him for a fairly long while until a few roster changes. So as it stands, he still has a very good comfort zone here, but Oddity might be up to something also.
Is Vast going to be able to get this stock control? That was really what opened up the round for Oddity last time. He's still outside. I assume that Wildcard have the same camera as they did last time inside of stock, and if the jump in does come into stock, Diesel should win that fight with the SMG-11. It's a tough angle, but he should win it. As the wall of CEO, in fact, both walls look to be opened up.
Certainly seems like it. No impact tricks will be coming out this time, since so many angles are starting to get opened up from Oddity. And on the side of Wildcard, they still have all 5 of their operators. Well, make it 4, just as I say that. Caster's Curse, hello.
And I said he should have won that, but he certainly didn't. A great job from Vast, who's been turning it up this game. Derpe living on the table does some good work, but this defuse is going down for Oddity. Can it be denied by the Yokai drones? No, it doesn't need to. Ethan's below, and he shoots him through the floor. Wildcard now in a significant numbers advantage.
Certainly are, and right now Todd will be forced to rotate around. Vast is quite heavily teched up, but he seems to be the big playmaker so far for Oddity, making sure that he's just there where Wildcard won't be expecting him. But right now, the setup is perfect. Imarin got the angle onto the diffuser, Neofighter controlling the 90, as well as the long angle, and there's Ethan's play from below will be ensuring that Wildcard will be finally evening things out. 2 apiece so far during the first half, and things might be ironing out right now for Wildcard. Albeit they are on their defense, they need as many of those defensive points as possible before the first half finishes.
They've won 2 defenses of CEO, which is all good and well, but we really need to see some successful defenses downstairs of Lockers CCTV, because that is the bread and butter of Bank, and you need to be able to do that. You need to be able to have some successful defenses downstairs. Otherwise, you're looking to be in a grim position. Even if they have really good attacks, if they can't win this downstairs bomb site, I really don't think they have a shot at winning this map.
Well, it's all potentially going to come down to how will this site perform. Is bringing in once again a bit of a odd decision with the castle for Imarin, albeit that the man was able to frag out pretty well, all things considered.
My question is, are they going to actually dedicate to this roam? Because they haven't once. Every time they don't go for the roam. And funnily enough, Oddity have banned the Jackal, so you'd think it'd be a perfect opportunity to try to go for that roam. And they're not committing to it at all. They've faked it twice. The second time, they even reinforced the hatches inside an open area, which was just weird. So, I don't know. How's Wildcard going to do this? I think they need to be a bit more in sync on what is the strat. And hopefully, I do hope we see some more aggressive players. We saw a Yokai drone placed in lobby. That's a good sign. Maybe they'll be using that to support players off-site. And Imarin is upstairs as well. Looks like we will see a roam.
Hopefully, for Wildcard, that roam would be able to pay off, because the rest of the team is falling behind. Derpe is in a bit of a vulnerable position if the rush through the garage will happen, but that certainly doesn't seem to be the case. Diesel to play things out once again in the server and the server stairs, but God Legion with a excellent droning position will be able to get so much information, and it's so juicy right now, and none of the Wildcard members are actually aware of that drone position.
Clever use of the jump mechanic to get over that pest. Now it looks like Oddity will turn their attention to the top floor. They know that taking the top floor is the first step to taking that open area.
With Red now popping open a couple of doorways, he should be able to get a nice long angle into the archives, meaning he might be able to draw out a couple of default rotations, but it seems that Wildcard deciding to prompt for a bit of a more default play. Diesel once again playing a smoke on the server stairs, might be able to deny plentiful amount of time, but that is if he won't get flanked or Oddity won't pull out once again another just two-man push here.
Todd will have to open up this hatch. The typical way to flush this person out of blue stairs is you open up the hatch so he can't retreat, and then you start to lob utility and try to make an entry, kill the smoke player. But first step is, of course, opening up this hatch. Last time Oddity dropped several players down the hatch. They killed the person behind the server and then went for the player in the stairs. It worked really well for them. They lost one player, but it worked at the end of the day.
I'm a bit lost as to why is Diesel not even prompting to try to gas the hatch itself, because it was pretty still making vulnerable the Maverick, but unfortunately that's not the case. Todd will take a chunky, a small chunk of damage for the trouble of trying to peek. And there's another double push. There's the peek on Imorin. Will be able to triple push. Actually, still gets the double kill. Imorin, not before Red will be able to claim his life. So a nice worthy trade, 2 for 1. And yeah, Diesel is still on the server stairs.
Wildcard still have this positioning to their advantage, and Diesel's going to get aggressive because of it. He gets punished, but he does get the injure onto God Legion. A good trade, but that leaves it all up to Red and Vinny. Is anyone in a position to revive God Legion? Vinny's going to get it off, but there's almost no time to make this happen. It'll have to be a rush for Oddity to overwhelm Wildcard, who still have yokai drones and likely 2 C4s to make this work. They just have to play it patient. Oddity, they spot out the yokai drone. That's a huge play. 2 players drop down the hatch. They're going to play very aggressively here. Wildcard have to stand their ground. Watching now, a vault over. Dirtbag gets 1. Is this plank going to go down? It's 2 versus 1 here. There's nothing that they can do, and Dirtbear finishes it off. Wildcard finally are successful on that CCTV defense.
Finally, they do manage to break the curse after 2, I believe, yeah, that was 2 unsuccessful attempts. Finally, 3rd time's the charm for Wildcard to bring things back. Whereas on the side of Oddity, they were this close to winning this. They were this close to pulling once again away. And a very aggressive play seems to be working out pretty well. And for some reason, it gives me flashbacks, Dev, to the very first APAC clan, Airwolf versus ANZ. Do you remember what was happening back then?
Well, back then we had Air Arena get like a 3K or something inside a server, but it was a bit different because this time Wildcard dropped Oddity dropped like 3 players down the hatch. They didn't use any utility.
The thing that I'm referencing to is the fact that Oddity, for already how many rounds, have tried to go for the very aggressive push at the very last seconds. And that's exactly what ANZ been doing back then as well. Which, I mean, it worked for ANZ, but I'm not too sure whether it's working quite well for Oddity so far, to be honest.
It's a mixed bag for Oddity. They're identifying specific things they need to take. For example, server. They know that where both of the players defending server are, one in blue stairs and one behind the server rack. But their way to take that is not with utility, not by flashing out or nading out the smoke or the player behind the server rack. They're just dropping dry with no smokes or anything like that, no flashes, and they're trying to hunt that person behind the server rack.
Yeah, they're trying to play off the momentum, which to a certain degree worked. Yeah, you managed to get the ground of the server, but you didn't really take care of the smoke that was on the stairs. That was your primary reason for dropping multiple people there.
I feel like maybe using a bit more utility when they execute to take that map control would help Oddity. But now it's new ground for both of these teams. Wildcard are in the lead, of course, but they'll have to defend Teller's archives.
They certainly will.
We haven't seen either of these teams do this one on this map so far. It can be very similar to that top floor defense because you often have a lot of control of the top floor that you want to emphasize. You want to hold on to as long as possible as a defense, and the attackers definitely need to approach that.
I have a very odd feeling that we will be seeing even more roaming from Wildcard, considering the fact that they did pop so many hatches for themselves. So it will be a spread out on throughout the whole 3 floors here. And oh boy,
that's a
God
free
Legion.
kill.
Surely that's a free kill for God Legion here. He will be able to get himself a nice cheeky grenade kill. But it seems that he will be rather using a coconut just to get rid of a quick kite charge here.
That'll do the trick as well. So
I don't think it will.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure it did. Still droning up ahead. Maybe he needs to locate the positions of these cage charges. Still that echoes inside conference, and Red loses his drone to him. Surely this Thermite's not going to take that peek. Get very exposed position. He's just going to try to go in with Vinny. A C4 comes up. Great shot from Vinny to get rid of that one as well. The Echo now in an exposed position. Vinny on the entry. He's confident he can take that one. Another player now, and Vinny's good for 2. He's doing so much work. The Lion Charge shuts down Wildcard so they can't go for these refrags. And everything's collapsing for Oddity right now. Just 2 players left on Wildcard. They need to start finding these picks. They need to start having an impact here because Oddity have so much time to make this happen.
Certainly do. With 57 seconds left to go, the push will need to commence pretty soon, all things considered. But so far, Oddity is just pacing themselves. They're making sure that they will have all the angles needed. The EE1D is being popped right now. The Thermite Charge is being used as well, and the Redolent will be the one to be going on the plant. Neofighter just unable to connect any shots, as well as the fact that the wall will be finally opened up. The plant is completely unaware. There's the peek from Neofighter. Will be able to net himself a first kill, but 4 more players need to be down. That's another one. Can he find another one? Another shot. There's Sledge getting quite severely tagged out, but not just down yet.
Plant still does eventually go down. 1 player's down, but this is still, it's not impossible, it's just very improbable here for Neofighter. Players above with holes in the floor, so much to contest with, and hopefully Oddity have enough drones left that they can just place one on site and wash it, but they don't even need to. Oddity can even up the half. That's a 3-3, and that's not a bad result, I reckon.
Not at all, no. Oddity still managed to draw things out. They will be able to kick things off on their defense in a much more positive way, and considering the fact that they are riding off a wave of them just winning a map off Wildcard, certainly they will be feeling good about this result so far, considering that they were on offense. Bank is considered one of those maps that technically should be favoring the defense, but so far that's not the case really. It's favoring both of the sides.
Yeah, that's a pretty good start. Wildcard really were only very good at the CEO defense. They struggled a bit on CCTV, eventually got one. But we'll see Oddity Esports start there on this CCTV defense. It looks like a bit more of a kind of typical hold. We've got the smoke for Oddity. We do have that castle brought though, so maybe we'll see this roam aggressively.
This will be a much more paced out, I feel, defense from Oddity, because they have the Legion, they have the kite, they have the smoke. So keep the smoke like you usually by the textbook.
This actually looks really aggressive from Oddity right now. They've got the Echo drone on the top floor. They're reinforcing those top floor hatches, castle barricades as well to maintain control of this corridor. So I guess they can play aggressively around that corridor and maybe even go down the stairs. Yeah, so even reinforcements here. Holes into tellers. There's so much map control being... this is quite ambitious by Oddity, but it's nothing we've never seen before.
Yeah, it's certainly an ambitious plan, an ambitious attempt to try to pretty much expand on nearly half of the map. But yes, so far Oddity are performing much more consistent than Wildcard. But are they consistent enough to actually be able to manage themselves within this large span of the ground?
This exact placement of these castle barricades and reinforcements is not one I've seen before. Interesting ideas here. They're going to tear some down. Looks like they're a little bit uncertain. So, I like these ideas from Oddity. A lot of presence upstairs as well. Derper looks to be opening up a very long hole. Okay, just a little bit of a peek hole so we can cover that hallway if he wishes to. A drone in the hallway as well so we can spot out those players. He may well spot out these players inside of tellers as well.
I don't think he did just yet.
This pressure from above, though, from Emo-Rin will be able to flush out those guys inside of tellers. Is vulnerable to C4s, though, through the floor. I don't believe the players are equipped with C4s. Todd does eat one bullet. He's
he
trying
needs
to...
more than one bullet at this point, as Ethan will be the one to take him out finally with a push on his IQ with 552.
5 versus 4 now. Pretty good start for Wildcard. Worried about these Valkyrie cameras and Echo drones for information. Looks like a nice and easy thermite charge, 2 Thatcher grenades. It's a lot of Thatcher EMPs, but does get the job done eventually. Still a player inside of open area hiding under one of the cubicles. We need to see thorough droning from Oddity, otherwise, sorry, from Wildcard, otherwise Oddity will punish that.
Yeah, they certainly will, and I'm not too sure just yet if the drones did actually spot the Oddity player at question here. It seems that he is pretty steadfast here, so he will be granted a free reign here with Imorin needing...
Oh, it's spotted!
There it is. There's the spot. Finally does come out, so the pre-fire will be... Oh, just on point! Almost! Almost, but God Legion finally will be going down to the pre-fire of multiple players from Wildcard.
He's down, but not out so far. Not going to get picked up, and there you go. He is finished off through the wall. So good droning at the end by Wildcard. Next step, with 40 seconds to go, they're really late. They're just going to go into server and start to do the next step. Need to open up this main wall. Diesel needs to get on that right away.
Yeah, they still have one more EMP grenade, so in case the Echo drone is there, which is there, the EMP grenade should be able to allow that to happen. But 20 seconds to go, and gas grenades are still coming out. Redolent will be on that Yokai drone, so...
There is no time.
There is no time at all, and they need to coordinate that push very, very quickly. They did take control of a plentiful amount of ground. There's the C4. There's the Echo drone. Yokai drone is doing so much damage. The plant will be denied.
Oh my god!
But Oddity will be able to win this, ladies and gentlemen, off the back of Redolent on that Yokai drone.
Not sure why the IQ wasn't searching for that Yokai, but it was a very valiant effort from Wildcard. They got aggressive. They took out some of those gas canisters while they were in midair, but it just wasn't enough.
They had the Thatcher EMP grenade remaining. One more. They had the IQ, like you mentioned. How was that even allowed at that point? But oh well. Maybe I was missing something. Maybe just amongst all the chaos, it was just lost in the comms. And 4-3 is so far looking the scoreline in favor of Oddity. Fantastic performance from what was considered initially an underdog team, but boy oh boy, are they making a statement here.
They've already picked up 3 points from their match earlier today, and they're hungry for more. They came into this playday second on the leaderboard, just behind Wildcard. They've already leapfrogged them, and with Fnatic also getting 6 points earlier today, Oddity are hot on their heels as well. It's entirely possible that we'll see Oddity and Fnatic go to the APAC Finals. It's still possible that we'll see Oddity and Wildcard go to the APAC Finals. Of course, with a performance like this today on Wildcard, there's gonna be a lot of eyes watching them next week in their Fnatic game. They really need to rack up points there. Otherwise, their chances of making APAC Finals actually might be slipping away.
Certainly could be the case. Vast will be going in for just to make sure that the drone economy will be dwindling slowly for Wildcard. Whereas on the side of Oddity, so far all the preps are done right, all the homework is done, and they're all ready and prepared to pretty much respond to any aggression that will be coming out and thrown by Wildcard. That roam from God Legion could potentially also net nice results for Oddity Esports for now, but as it stands, Imorin is a solo player on the exterior plaza windows to ensure that there will be plentiful amount of pressure applied onto Vinny.
It'll be a gradual push here for Wildcard. I think it's starting to get to them. The feeling that they are on the back foot, and they have been for quite some time now. They did struggle on their defenses downstairs. I think that really set the pace for this game, them not being able to get many wins on their defense at the CCTV where they really should be.
Yeah, well, for now, Derpy will be the one to rappel over and see if he can deal some damage and apply more pressure, essentially, on that reception desk. Won't be able to find a single kill just yet, but that should open plentiful amount of sidelines just to enable to either pressurize all of those points, and 2, just maybe even find a kill.
Opening up these main walls. Looks like Oddity are not playing anywhere near as aggressive as Wildcard were on this top floor. But first thermite charge is denied by an impact grenade. It's really up to Emo on these windows to prevent that from happening, and he failed for that first one. He does allow Diesel to get that second one off, but that's all the hard breach Wildcard can hope for now, as they're fully out of thermite charges.
Certainly are. Well, for now though, Wildcard will need to start setting up their flank watch, because so far Oddity Esports were able to perform a very nice set of flanks and just very nice hold all in all. Whereas on the side of Wildcard, they need to start pushing, they need to start pressurizing, they need to start forcing Oddity Esports out of their comfort zone, and so far this was not the case even after their first attempt at the CCTV and lockers.
Ethan does have some good control though of stock. He's also going to check for utility. Still, we need to see Wildcard start to disable some of these players on site, eliminate these key positions.
Oh boy.
Player inside of elevator. Is Ethan wary of it? He spots out the dock and does find that kill. He gets concussed though, and he does lose that second fight. Unfortunate that he was exposed to the Zofia, but what an aggressive peek from Red, and the entire screen falls with Wildcard players. It's just Derp left, and he's got 3 to fight. No time, no hope, no chance. And we're going to see Oddity win yet another round and get up right on ahead of Wildcard here on Bank.
Oddity are playing on a whole new level, really, comparative to what Wildcard is so far showing us. And yeah, Ethan managed to go for a nice peek, but really, Red and Vinny are the ones that sealed the deal really here for the team, and managing to bring this back. I mean, 2-round buffer against a team that, say, at the start of the Season 10, if somebody would have told me Oddity winning over Wildcard in this kind of fashion and just styling on them literally in every firefight, I would have doubted that, really. But now it's just a whole new beast, really. And I'm kind of at a question whether it's Oddity Esports just doing a very thorough research on their opponents and preparing so well, or is it just Wildcard giving in to all the pressure that has been applied to them ever since they got picked up by a new org?
So Raven, I was talking to him earlier today, hopefully we get him on the interview after this match, but he's the coach of Oddity Esports, and he told me they weren't actually counter-stratting very much, and in fact that was very deliberate. Last time these guys played against each other, Oddity Esports spent so much time counter-stratting, trying to understand how Wildcard play. And it meant that when Wildcard didn't play like that, Oddity were completely thrown off. They didn't have any foundation to fall back on. So Oddity, very similar to what we've seen from Fnatic recently, their attitude has been to focus introspectively, focus on themselves and improving themselves, rather than trying to get very complicated in counter-strat. And that's one big difference between these two teams. Wildcard are a team that are big on counter-strats. They always go for those counter-strats. It's how they've beaten Fnatic in the past. But it seems that at the moment, what seems to be succeeding for teams is the ability to focus on themselves.
Yeah, focus on your own pacing, focus on just how you can adjust for some of the players. And it certainly seems to be the case here as well for Oddity Esports. And I'm pretty sure with the current results, Raven will be also very much pleased.
Yeah, I'm sure he's gobsmacked at the moment. Don't think he expected such a good performance so far. It's not done yet. Wildcard still have a serious chance in this game, and getting the first pick is certainly a good help for that. It's a Teller's defense now. Sorry, an open area defense. Open area and kitchen for Oddity. This isn't a bomb site we see every day, but it's also not unheard of. It's very confident for Oddity to bring it out here in a Pro League match. It's something that I think a lot of teams save for scrims, don't want to show too much, don't want to try it because it's not always tested, doesn't always work that effectively.
What I will say so far, Oddity did win over Wildcard map picks wise.
Absolutely.
They managed to bring in Villa, which was by far an amazing match.
Yeah, I don't know what Wildcard were thinking with these map bans, because these were the two best maps I think Oddity could have hoped for in this match.
Like the counter strat so far on the map bans and picks was phenomenal by Oddity, and like hands down definitely outplayed Wildcard. But on the side of also just adaptability, Wildcard seems to be to have a little bit of a lackluster performance, albeit that now they still.
What? What is happening,
allowed?
Todd? How is he just allowed in stock to get so aggressive and find so many picks here? We're at a point where Oddity is ready to break away, guarantee themselves at minimum a draw. I don't think they're stopping there. Derpez's going to push aggressively onto the Ella, does find that pick eventually, but it's a 1 versus 2 now, essentially, with Imorin down on the floor. Plenty of time to pick him up, but he needs to make sure he's not exposed. Does go for that revive, now 2 versus 2.
Yeah, but it is a very wonky 2 versus 2 as Imorin is literally a single shot away from death and will be this time going down for good. So he will need to make sure to drone things out and be very thorough about knowing where the position is of the other player. The rest of the team could actually keep on watching the drone as well, and Imorin should be able to find that kill from above, but Vast already managed to rotate out. So 17 seconds left to go. Barely any really possibilities of winning here.
But Vast does find that one pick. Derper has the world against him, 1 versus 1. Vinny's been so good so far this game, but not good enough! Derper, are you kidding me? And the testing of the crouch button to top it off. What was that? I can't believe we just saw it with the pistol as well. Our wild card, I guess I just can't count you out.
Certainly looks like it, Devomarda, as Wildcard once again bringing things back for themselves off the back of a clutch in a 1v1. When the odds literally are stacked all against them. As throughout probably the middle of that round, after Todd managed to pick up a few of those kills, it certainly looked like already were just about to hit the match point really and just secure themselves at the very least a draw. But seems that Wildcard are not ready just yet to get out of this. Hopefully we will be seeing a much more coordinated game. Hopefully, well, for them it's a hopefully. For Oddity though, they seeming all nice and comfy. Yep, they are only 1 round away from drawing things out, but so far it's been their pace, it's been their game, and they've been dictating pretty much every single move.
Oddity has been running the show here, and they, I don't know, they seem very good. That said, Wildcard, like I said, you can't count them out. They sometimes just pull things out. Pull things that you wouldn't expect, like that Derpet clutch, 1 versus 2.
10 seconds left.
So, Oddity are still in a good position, but Wildcard only have to take 1 to bring it back here. They haven't won an attack yet onto this CCTV. Last time, they just took far too long trying to push onto Oddity. Pretty good aggressive plays near the end, but there was no time. And I think this is it. If there is any bomb site where Wildcard have demonstrated that they can take it, I think it's this one.
Well, we're just about to find that out if that is the case here. Whereas Oddity already spreading things out, spreading themselves out pretty thin all around the open area. Diesel having a very nice location and knowledge about the positioning of Echo, but nice spot from Redolin will be ensuring that that won't be the case for long.
That was a clever idea. Ethan wanted to quickly and aggressively get control of Garage, and he was going to use Diesel on the drone to tell Ethan that it was clear and that he wasn't going to be exposed to the Echo. But because Diesel's drone got taken out by Red, Ethan decided to not play that aggressive. Smart move. Good idea both sides. Good idea to play that aggressively and use the drone to make sure it would work, but also a good idea to back out when you knew that it wasn't.
Certainly is. For now, though, it is all safe and all quiet in Wildcard camp as they are just trying to poke around, see what they can get up to and see where they can find a frag. Multiple shots are being exchanged between the Legion of Oddity and Zafia as well. So with God Legion taking some damage now, will be forced to fall back a little bit as well. Same goes for Ethan.
Still haven't completely removed all the utility upstairs here in the open area. It's a bit of a strange way to use this bomb site. They're kind of just moving around into the area as Oddity have remodeled it. But doesn't seem to be too much of a problem so far. Ethan's opening up a really good position, though, so he can just storm into Red Hallway if he wants to. And there's a lot of time left for Wildcard here, a whole minute left.
Whole minute left indeed, but the control of the server is still contested. There's the peek from Todd. Will be able to shut things down as Neofighter will be taking out, but Diesel finally will be able to trade things out. 4-on-4. Diesel needs to quickly pull out the quick needle, and the breach will be happening. 40 seconds, not too bad, but they will need to get things going on the double, really.
There's still a yokai, though, inside of server, and no IQ to find it out. I believe the attackers are looking for it, but this could really spell death for Wildcard, especially because there's so little time left and so many smoke babes. This, once again, could spell death for Wildcard. And really, Wildcard have to pull something out of the hat here. No chance they can go for this plan, but Ethan's going to get aggressive. This is what they need to make it happen. Ethan going to get so aggressive, he takes down that one. All has to get the Echo. The Echo means everything here. He has to take him out. He can't manage it. Can the Echo deny the plants? He can get another peek, but no, the plant goes down. It's a 1 versus 3. All up to Godlegion upstairs. And can he retake?
Certainly in a good position right now. On just about 60% health. Diesel will be on the flank watch, as well as Derpy falling back a little bit, just to make sure that they cover as much ground as possible. But the Godlegion already rotated. Might be going in for the peek into the vault, but just can't seem to find the shot just yet. He does reveal his position with every pre-fire, so right now he's getting a little bit trigger itchy. Will be unable to find a nice shot onto Derpy, and just like that, Wildcard are evening things out back again. 5 apiece, ladies and gentlemen. We're not out of this just yet.
There was no way that Wildcard were meant to win that.
No.
Earlier in the game today, we saw Oddity clutch a 2 versus 2 that they should never have won on that bomb site. And then Wildcard just pulled that out of nothing. I can't believe that they made that happen. Massive hats off to Ethan for getting that aggressive, because that aggression to kill that smoke player and the other player in red and then force the Echo off of his yokai drone and start playing aggressively on him, that was what won that round for Wildcard.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you on this one, Dev. As it just seems to be the whole day of just insane clutches. We saw Mindfreak pull out a fair few insane plays against Fnatic, and this seeming to be just repeating the same fashion, really. With Oddity and Wildcard just seeming to be exchanging just blows left, right, and center.
For a time, it definitely looked like Oddity were severely advantaged here, and that Wildcard were kind of just having an off day and not going to come away with any points tonight. But I think they've started to wake up. The pressure, I think that's not relevant here. You have to let that slide and just focus on your game. Wildcard have stepped up these last few rounds, gotten back in the game here, put us onto match, or not match point, breakaway point as I like to call it. The point that makes all the difference, who is going to guarantee themselves a draw, who's going to put that win on the cards, because it's possible we'll see a draw here. It's still possible for either of these teams to win it, and it all comes down to this round as to who takes the first hit.
What is interesting to me is I think that's actually a statistic from the first half of the season, was that Oddity's performance was very much, well, it was close every time. You either see them win 7-5 or you see them lose 7-5. I think that was just about, yeah, the trend for them for the first half, which was quite amusing, and this seeming to be proving just about the same.
This has definitely been a close game for sure.
Indeed it is. Well, looking overall so far at the composition of the operators, both teams just about sporting the same lineup. Wildcard sticking to their guts and sticking to pretty much the lineup that got them the win in the past few rounds, and exchanging seeming to be IQ for a sledge and bringing it and giving Ethan the controls of the Zofia seeming to be working out pretty well.
Yeah, all these players comfortable on their operators. Wildcard do seem to really stick on the same operators, at least for now. Diesel's a great hard breach player. He just rotates around Thermite, Hibana as needed. Neo's been delegated to Thatcher. And they've had plenty of utility to accomplish what they need to. I just want to say, shout out Neo Fighter with the always Fnatic skin for the L85. Former Fnatic player, once Fnatic, always Fnatic. I love that.
It's definitely a nice homage back to his days, well, early days with the Fnatic. But for now, though, bringing it back to Wildcard versus Oddity, the breach is already starting to come out. Minute 15, only now the attacking side is starting to make their move. Not a single person in the server, would allow a swift entry, but the rest behind it hides the rest of Oddity Esports. And boy, oh boy, this very player, Redolent, will be the main issue for Wildcard to deal with. Not even Vast with his smoke babes, really.
There's so little time left for Wildcard, and that what keeps preventing them from really taking the victories on this bomb site. They only barely got it last time around, and the time ticking away certainly is what's worrying me.
Certainly is. Diesel will be able to get rid of one of the Valk cams, but the smoke babes should need to be disabled. There it is. Will be shot out of the air, actually. Finally, so not a single kill was dealt as well.
Is this the plan for Diesel? He knows he's just waiting for this moment. Ethan knows that this is his opportunity to push down. When is it so desperate that he has to drop? Is he going to make the move? He's waiting patiently, and now's the time. He drops. He's done it so many times before, and he's preventing anyone from pushing up the red hallway, looking for that Echo drone. Is this plant going to go down? No, the Yokai is there. And Oddity do break away onto 6 points here in the rounds. We're on match point Oddity.
Fantastic turn of events for Oddity Esports, and on a side of Wildcard, just inability to either divert their positioning or just seeming to maybe try to reroute themselves.
I don't know why they don't just bring the IQ to find that Yokai.
Don't even bring the IQ. You know that there will be an Echo playing in the garage. So many times Redolent already showed that he's exclusively playing that. That's the most safe position for him. And the moment you try to go for a push, send at least one person to just force Echo off his drone. That's when you get the frag. That's when you deny that plan denial.
I wonder if a Zofia concussion would force Echo off his drone. Like if you threw one down the red hatch towards garage. That'd be a cool thing. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, that could.
Wonder if that would work. Anyway, we are on match point here. Oddity, they've already picked up the 3 points for their win earlier today on Villa, and this is looking like a possibility here. Wildcard, they were all... Actually, no, they haven't successfully attacked this bomb site CEO once. They won open area attack and they won CCTV. So CEO was only picked once by Oddity, despite losing out once on, despite losing out a couple times on other bomb sites. They haven't returned to this one just yet, and they finally can go back upstairs. They're going to do exactly that. Oddity definitely have this opportunity here, and they're just within grasping distance.
Something tells me that we might just be seeing another 7-5 in favor of Oddity this time. Just for the sheer fact that how well that team has been playing. I can't emphasize enough how good some of the executions were and how well they were able to emphasize of so many mistakes that Wildcard GG made really during both of these maps. For now though, it seems just about the same positioning how we saw the CEO was defended by Oddity before. Depe is back on the Zofia. And last time we saw him, he was able to actually clutch it out very, very well for his team. But that was only when they were going in for the attack onto the open area.
And now we, of course, are on the top floor. Good information being gathered by Wildcard, just finding out these players, locating anyone. They know that they've been tripped up before when they don't drone thoroughly, when Todd got a 2K from inside of stock, so they're going to be more thorough and double-check things. But they also know that they lose out when they waste so much time, and they have so little to go for that execute.
Certainly do. Already just about half a round already used up, and Vinny is tempted to go for that peek. He knows he might be able to outgun that sledge as well, given the right angle. And oh, there it is. That was an attempt, but cannot connect the shot.
He's so tempted to go for this jump out.
Yeah, he's keen. He wants to get that going for himself, but as it seems, Imoren just can't seem to find that angle. Finally, Vinny will be found. This time Diesel will be making sure that the breaching charge will be able to do as much damage as possible.
This is a great start for Wildcard. I believe that thermite charge would also open up some angles into Janitors. Not sure, I didn't quite see the angle. Ooh, good angle from inside of CEO. but it doesn't get anything just yet. God Legion is still below, so if this comes down to a last-minute plan, it can be denied as long as he has information on the bomb site.
Indeed, Avast, meanwhile, in the conference room, just trying to fend off. Has a couple of goo mines, so he might be able to get some maybe info gathering and some passive damage done, but as it stands, it is an Ethan on the IQ lurking around. Derpy will be able to find a kill as well as Imorin to catch things off guard. This is certainly going into the hands of Wildcard GG, but 20 seconds left to go. Echo and Valkyrie.
And Ethan is on the hunt downstairs. 5 versus 2. God Legion's the last man standing. He can deny the plan. He could even get 2. And he does get that 1 player, but the plan still goes down. It's going to be a retake now. He's found 2. This has to be an ace clutch for God Legion to get the victory here on Bank. Otherwise, Wildcard will come away with a draw. It's still possible. I don't want to count him out. He is one of the best players in ANZ, but he's just not good enough here. And Ethan will close out that game. We get 1 point in the scoreboard per team, a tie here in our second map between Oddity Esports and Wildcard.
Nonetheless, it was still a valiant effort from Oddity Esports, managing to score a runaway with 4 points, whereas Wildcard only scoring 1 point for themselves, leaving Wildcard with 17 points, whereas Oddity is